Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight I'm making a Dundee cake and it's going to be delicious and you're going to love it. And the reason why I'm making this cake was because it was a suggestion from one of my subscribers, which I thank you so much. I've made this cake a couple times and it's absolutely delicious. And so now I'm making it tonight so I can record it and share it with you. So let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna make a Scottish Dundee cake today, and it's going to be delicious. So let's get started. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, I'm gonna add that in. Okay, that's 2 cups. Then we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Add that in, and then we are going to mix this up. And also we need salt, so we need a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, now we mix the whole thing up. So this is our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. Okay, and we're going to set this aside, and then we're going to work on the wet ingredients. But before we do that, I want to show you that I zested an orange. So this is about 1 tablespoon. So this is my zester, and so it's just so easy. Just great. So just a tablespoon. And then I have my raisins here. You're going to need 1 cup of raisins ready to go. And I bought dried cherries. So we're going to put the dried cherries in. So what I wanted to show you was I was just going to rough chop them just a little bit because they're kind of, you know, much bigger than the raisin. So I'm just going to cut them in half if I can. So the bag was 5 ounces, so it's a 5-ounce dried cherries. And the dried cherries are optional. You just definitely need raisins in there. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. So now this is all ready. And we're going to work on our wet ingredients right now. And that'll be the next step. Okay, so to get started with my wet ingredients, we're going to need 3 eggs. So I've scrambled them. And I need brown sugar. So this is light brown sugar. And we need 1 cup. So and then pack it down. Okay. That's 1 cup of brown sugar. Okay, and then the next thing is we need butter. So I've melted my butter, and we need 12 tablespoons of butter. So that's approximately 3 1/4 cups. So it's 12 tablespoons. I'm going to add it into. Okay, so added my butter. Now cream together the brown sugar and the butter. Mix it all up. Okay. Now I'm going to add my tablespoon of orange zest. Mix that in. Okay, I'm going to add my 3 eggs. Okay. Mix this in. Okay, and then we're going to need marmalade. So it's orange marmalade. So I got my jar of orange marmalade, And we need 1/3 cup of marmalade. Okay, so that's in there. Now blend in the marmalade. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start combining this wet ingredient here with the dry ingredients. And then we're going to go ahead and add our raisins and our dried cherries. And you're supposed to have almonds. So blanched almonds. These are already blanched. I bought them from the store and they're slivered. So I'm going to use these, which is going to save time instead of blanching your own almonds. Okay, so now this is all well blended. And now we're going to start adding our dry ingredients. Okay. Okay, we'll get to that step next. Okay, so now we're going to start adding our dry ingredients into the wet. Just continuously mix until it's all absorbed. Okay. And we're going to cook this at 300 degrees for about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. So this cake does take a long time to cook. And that's okay. It's going to be worth it. You just get all that in there. Okay. So now just keep mixing until all of it is combined. And after it's all completely combined, we're going to add our raisins and our cherries. Okay, look, it's all coming together. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. And it all comes together so quick when you have all your ingredients laid out. I mean, it is wonderful. Okay, so now this is all well blended. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cup of raisins. I'm going to add my dried cherries. Okay. And then just mix these in so they're all inside the batter. Okay, and then I'm going to get my baking dish out, and we're going to grease it and then add the batter right in our preheated oven. Okay, so that'll be the next step. Look how good this looks. This is my Dundee cake. Okay, so in a greased baking dish here, baking pan, I'm going to scoop in all the batter. Okay. And the baking pan here is approximately 8 inches. If you have something a little bigger, you can use that. This is all I had. And also, when I said you don't need to put the dried cherries in, if you don't put the dried cherries in, then just add more raisins. Okay, so we're going to get this all in here. And it's going to cook for about an hour and a half, but just make sure you use your toothpick and see if it comes out clear, then the cake is done. We don't want to overcook it. And then when you're, you know, cooking it, just make sure you check it to see if it's browning too much on top. Because if it's browning too much, then just cover it with foil and continue cooking it. If your toothpick comes, you know, seems that it still has the wet batter on it. Okay, so look how good this looks. Actually, this 8 by 8 inch baking dish is actually perfect. Okay, I'm really excited about this cake. It's going to be super moist. Look at that. So the next thing we have to do is put the almonds on. So they have to be blanched almonds. The store only had the slivered ones, which is fine. Okay. Alright. So this is probably going to take me all day to add all these little slivered almonds on top. So because you're supposed to do it in like a circular pattern, I'm actually just going to add them on top in a circular pattern. Okay, and then just push them down. Okay, so now my Dundee cake is ready to go in the oven, and as soon as it's done, I will remove it. I will let it rest in the pan for like 5-10 minutes, and then I will remove it from the pan and let it cool on a wire rack. So this is my Dundee cake. I will show you when it's complete. Okay, so my Dundee cake is out of the oven. I'm letting it rest for about 5-10 minutes on the rack here before I remove it from the baking tray. It needed only an hour and 20 minutes, so make sure you're checking it throughout the cook process. So once it cools off and I will remove it from here, I will show you, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so I removed my Dundee cake out of the baking tray. Remember, let it cool for at least 5 to 10 minutes before you remove it. And now I'm going to let it rest on here because it's still very warm. And I will cut a slice and I will show you. Okay, so here is my cake. I'm going to cut into it. Look at that. Look how good that looks. It's super moist. It's still warm. And it smells amazing. And it tastes amazing. So thank you to my subscriber who suggested I make a Dundee cake, because I've been working on this and it is amazing. This is the 3rd time I've made it in like 2 months. So it's delicious, and I thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. You will not be disappointed. This is so flavorful and so moist. Thank you for watching what's on my plate.